Now for Consumer Confidential with KTLA 5's David Lazarus.
He joins us live. And Laz, everyone's worried about inflation, and now there's fear of a recession because of it.
Yeah, to all of the above. Now, we know that consumer anxiety is rising because the Federal Reserve is out with a new survey today showing that consumers' concerns about inflation are now at a record high. And that really is an indicator of where the worry is coming from. This survey comes out just a day before tomorrow's release of the March Consumer Price Index, which is expected to show that in March, consumer prices, in other words, inflation, rose by 8.4% from a year before. That's a huge jump. In fact, it's the largest jump since 1981. Now, right now, consumers, according to the Fed survey, are most anxious about the rent and how it's going up, medical costs and how those are going up, and of course the price of gas. You store all that together, and don't forget food, and you realize that many consumers are now increasingly worried about how they're going to pay the rent and get it all done. Many consumers are now living paycheck to paycheck. As we've talked about before, consumer spending represents 2/3 of total U.S. economic activity. The fear here, especially as the Federal Reserve raises interest rates to try to battle inflation, thus raising the cost of carrying a credit card balance, the fear here is that consumers will pull back on spending, try to circle their wagons a little bit, which would then have a ripple effect through the whole economy, and not in a good way. So that more than 400 point drop in the Dow today that Glenn referenced just a few minutes ago, that was a key reason here, is concerns about inflation and concerns about tomorrow's CPI numbers.
All right, we've seen the devastating human toll of the war in Ukraine. How is it affecting Ukraine's economy, which I would imagine there's nothing getting done right now?
Not just nothing getting done, but entire industries and infrastructures are being eviscerated. According to the World Bank, nearly half of Ukraine's economy is going to be wiped out by the Russian invasion. Stop and think about that for a sec. Almost half of their economy will be destroyed by Russia. The World Bank says that about 45% of Ukraine's gross domestic product is going to disappear as a result of this, primarily as a factor of infrastructure being decimated by Russian bombing, as well as the demise of the Ukrainian agricultural sector. Prior to the war, Ukraine was a major exporter of wheat, sunflower oil, and other crops. That has all stopped at the moment, which of course is rippling out throughout the food supply. And this is going to be a major problem going forward because obviously once the war finally ends, and it does have to end at some point, then the rebuilding begins. And that's going to be very, very expensive. And this is something that other countries will have skin in the game for, not just for rebuilding the Ukrainian economy, but also dealing with the humanitarian disaster that results from all of this. Bottom line, Ukraine has a long way to go to bounce back from something that really it didn't have any role in starting. And the rest of us are going to help fund that bill to try to get Ukraine back on its feet.
Yeah, it's just such an unfortunate situation. Laz, thanks. But we want to switch gears. Remember Kmart? There used to be so many of them.
The target
around,
of its day.
And now there's only 3 stores left.
Soon to be 3, because one of the last stores standing, one in New Jersey, is about to close. That will leave only 3 Kmarts known to still be existing. Now, let's rewind that tape a little bit. Once upon a time, there were more than 2,000 Kmarts nationwide. Then Kmart was acquired by Sears, and the owners of Sears and Kmart ran both companies into the ground. Let's not put too fine a point on it. Now there are very few, if any, Sears standing. I think the last Sears in their home state of Illinois has also closed, and the Kmarts are just falling by the wayside. They're roadkill now. The last 3 Kmarts are in Jersey, Long Island, and Miami. No telling how long those are going to last, but let's remember, retail is now an online game, and all retailers are living in Amazon's world. So you're either going to learn to compete with the big dogs out there in the digital realm, or you're just not going to be left standing. Kmart, a sad story, but an inevitable story. Back to you guys.
Yeah.
Attention Kmart shoppers.